see more detailed of the clouds for PS4 Pro than you can in PS4.
That's enough of a reason for me to go replay it.
Well, it's like, yeah, so totally. I would definitely, since you have
for
a
the fourth time.
Yeah.
I have
in
not
4K,
beat a video
dude,
game that long.
That game is beautiful in 4K. From the screenshots I've seen, I was like, holy shit. That makes me want to buy a PS4 Pro just to play that game again.
It's such a good game.
Yeah. So I'm really pumped for Last of Us 2. The next one is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. So that's basically, I think it's a compiled version of all the Uncharted's and a lot of different characters. And then also another one that I thought was pretty cool from last E3, Detroit Become Human.
What is that game? What the fuck is that game? Because I've looked at that so many times, and I cannot figure that out. I can't figure it out.
Yeah,
it looks cool.
So basically,
I don't know what
from what I've seen and from what I've read, it's basically there's these AIs that look human, so they're superhuman, and so and some of them go crazy, and so. Yeah. There are humans, but there are AI people. And there's a trailer out there, so definitely go watch it.
Really cool.
It's more in depth than what I'm saying right now. So, but there's AI that look really, really human, and they don't understand the difference, the emotional side of being human, and they want to be human. So it's really weird.
Do we know what style of game it is?
It looks. What's that? Really big title that was for PlayStation. It was the free running game. Can't remember what it's called.
Mirror's Edge?
Yeah, it's like Mirror's Edge. And what's that?
What's that? Xbox 2.
I know, but it's sort of like Mirror's Edge. No, what's the rainy one? The rainy game?
Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain. So it's sort of like that type of game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more of that style.
Oh, it's like more story.
Yeah, more story. Yeah, more story-based game. And turn-based.
Choose your own adventure kind of game.
And as you choose certain tasks, it morphs and changes the game. So that's another thing to think about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
I think we're going to see Red Dead. On the topic of Red Dead Redemption 2, just got announced that it's got delayed until 2018. I'm fine with that. God, at this point, I'm so happy to hear a game has been postponed.
What about Far Cry?
I have way too many games coming out that I want to play, and I'm just fuck, give me a break.
You know, it won't be as disappointing.
When they said Far Cry 5 is going to be a Western.
Yeah, well. It's not. So I heard that. I saw that article earlier this week.
They just released the whole and
it's set in modern day, but it's set in the deep south. It's
a cult, right?
Yeah,
Hilljack.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah. So it actually looks pretty awesome. I just downloaded Far Cry 4 on my Xbox. I'm gonna probably play it tonight. I'm hoping to. I hadn't played it yet, and I've heard really awesome stuff about it. Do you guys play Far Cry? No. Okay. It was Far Cry 4, then Far Cry Primal.
Okay.
I heard Far Cry 4 was amazing. Far Cry Primal was not
forgettable,
very forgettable.
Well, I think it's a lot different. It's two different gaming styles. Well, Primal's more
they didn't expand on the 4.
Yeah,
so it was I might as well just play 4 because this one is just not as good as 4.
4, starring Troy Baker, by the way, as the bad guy. Bring it full circle.
Which one has the guy from Better Call Saul in it? Nacho. 3, 4?
I think that's 4.
Is it 4 too?
I don't know though.
Well, because I've heard mixed reviews about both of those games. So, my sister's boyfriend, he played Primal and he loves Primal, just because it's a different type of game. You know, it's not like Far Cry 4. This one you actually have to go out and hunt and gather food and kill things and survive. It's more of that type of a Far Cry, obviously, but a little different. So
what's your poop your pants moment, man?
Hopefully, COD is going to be really cool for World War II. You know, they're actually going to dive deeper into that. But maybe a PS5. I don't know. Maybe because they're talking about Scorpio. You know, maybe PlayStation's all right.
That would be a poop your pants moment.
The big fuck you. Here we go. PS5, or we're dropping our price by $100 for PS4 Pro.
I mean, we didn't know anything about the Scorpio going into last E3.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Where they announced it, that was a pretty shocking moment. I mean, for all intents and purposes. The Scorpio is the next generation of consoles.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's iterative to some extent, but ultimately it's the next generation of consoles.
Because the specs that they've released so far have been huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they were it wasn't didn't seem like just a small improvement. It was it's just an improvement on the Xbox One. Well, you kind of improved it to make it almost a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Completely different.
I think that's a solid poop your pants. Why? Do you have any predictions and poop your pants moment?
I honestly don't really have anything that would I want to just see Last of Us 2. And I know they're going to do it. So it's not really it wouldn't be something that would shock me if they did do it because I already know that they're probably and are going to do it. They've already kind of hinted to it. So, but that's the only PlayStation game or the biggest PlayStation game that would kind of anything else. Since I don't own one and I'm not really big into it, isn't going to be. But Last of Us is going to be.
Yeah,
is gonna be
I
the
agree with
game.
you too. That's another.
Now,
big, huge
granted,
title.
Red Dead Redemption, I'm more excited for that.
But it'll be out on your
But
system.
it's cross
so-
console. That one, it's not real. I'm not gonna say it's a PlayStation or an Xbox game. I'm just excited for that. For that game. What is the company that made it? Grand Theft Auto. What is that company?
It's Rockstar.
Rockstar. I mean,
Yeah.
they just
Hit
crap
after hit,
amazing
hit
games,
after hit,
man.
yeah.
They hit out of the park.
Yeah.
I have two things to say. I think my prediction phase. I think we'll see some gameplay for the Spider-Man game, which I
Oh, yeah, I
think
have
is
that
gonna be
written down
amazing. That's going to be a PlayStation exclusive. And
Yeah.
Wyatt, if that doesn't make you at least consider
Well, so I remember the first open world. Do you remember playing the open world Spider-Man? The first one that came out for it was an Xbox or something. Do you remember coming to my house and we were in the basement? We set up both
two
TVs
TVs,
right
like,
next to
not
each
a connected game.
We didn't connect the
It's
game.
just like-
You played your version, I played mine. We just played right next to each other, and not like you can play Superman and fly around, or you can be in a helicopter or something. But there's nothing more fun to travel in than Spider-Man swinging.
web sling.
Like,
Yeah, man.
even if the
Oh.
game's not that fun, just swinging around New York City was just so
Remember
much
just going
fun.
to the top of the building and,
And
just
then
like free falling down
yeah.
to the last second using the web.
But
Oh,
honestly,
so awesome.
every Spider-Man game after that still had that swinging aspect to it, but it was too much button crashing.
And repetitive shit.
Repetitive shit. Now, if they combined the web slinging and the story of Spider-Man to the fighting of the Batman Arkham games of that type, it's still button mashing, but there's still there's
flow.
There's a flow to it, and it's fun to string combos and use
where
your
you
gadgets.
can button mash and get through it,
Yeah.
but you can
You're
master
not-
it.
Yeah, and instead of like Batman, you'd always have to. You flow and use your gadgets. Well, here you can just like flow and use your web shooters and different moves because obviously you have superpowers and you're more acrobatic. So I think if they had that type of fighting along with the traversing of the Spider-Man games, I would actually be interested into it. But honestly, since that first one back on Xbox, I've been disappointed with them since.
Yeah.
Yeah. The storylines have always been weird too, since they've always been tied to a
And
movie
I
release.
I don't like games that like come out with the storyline of the movie.
Yeah.
And
this
then they
won't
do
be that though.
slight
To be clear,
changes to it?
they've already said like this won't be like a homecoming
Okay.
video. This
Good.
is going to be like Arkham. This is going to be like its own
Okay.
separate.
Well, good. See, then
thing.
if they put some time and thought into it, then I will definitely.
And it's
get
by the
it.
guys who created Infamous, which is a fucking great game.
Yeah.
Infamous is
Yeah,
such a
it
great
is a
game.
good game.
It's a great game series.
Is that for both Xbox and PlayStation?
No,
or
it's
just
just for
PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Okay.
And it was a good game though.
My poop my pants moment for PlayStation isn't quite as extreme as some of the other like predictions we've made, but like I want to see a PlayStation 4 Pro controller. I have never enjoyed a controller more than I have enjoyed my Xbox Elite controller. That thing is worth every goddamn penny. It feels so good in your hand. It's weighted perfectly. You can swap out when I'm playing Halo 5, I can put a longer thumbstick on there for like better accuracy. Or if I'm just playing a relaxed game, I can put like, a single player experience, whatever. I can just put the regular thumbsticks on there and sit back and relax. Or I can slap on the magnetic paddles on the back when I'm playing Halo or Call of Duty or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I want to have like extra flexibility or extra options or be able to jump and shoot and run at the same time. Like, it's great. I'm surprised that PlayStation hasn't released a competitor to the Elite controller yet.
There are pro
Like,
controllers
yeah.
out there that
Yeah.
are licensed through PlayStation.
like I'm trying to
I can't remember the actual names of it, but
I know what you're talking about.
I've researched it online. Is like I need to find a controller because my controllers are just pissing me off. But one thing that I hope that they also allow is that instead of just your cord charging your controller, it allows you to play through the actual cord itself. So
they
there's
not
no
do that right
latency. No, not right now.
Oh shit! See, that's what it would do. I bet you anything like a Pro controller. That's what the Xbox One controller does that as well.
Okay.
The Pro controller has no latency if you plug it in with the cord that comes with it. It's actually sitting right behind you. That's the cord that came with my Pro controller.
So they
And-
recommend playing with the cords with their
yeah, because there's no
Well,
latency.
that's why pro PC.
I'm not good enough to like see a difference.
Well, that's
by
the way pro PC gaming is. Like pro PC gamers,
Yeah.
they don't play with wireless mouse and keyboard.
Well, they got those like what's that
the
crazy ass keyboards
Oh,
that you barely
yeah.
touch it and you like move and shit. Like
Well, that and they also have the TPs for the mouse cords that like hold the mouse cord up above the
Yeah.
mouse so that there's no lag or there's no
oh,
dragging.
mechanical keyboard.
Oh yeah, I have the mechanical keyboard and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they don't do with that wireless shit.
No.
They have cords every time. But that's my thoughts.
All right. So those are our predictions for E3 2007.
What about Star Wars
Oh,
for EA?
Oh, they'll
Because
have
EA,
Battlefront.
for sure.
Oh,
yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, because we talked about it last time a little.
Do we
bit.
see any of the other Star Wars titles that are in production? Because Respawn is working on a Star Wars
They
title.
are?
They're the company that put out Titanfall 2 this
Dude,
past
are
year.
you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my
And they're
god.
working on a Star Wars property. Remember we talked about a
Yeah, we
couple
talked
shows
about
ago.
it
It
in
might
the
be
previous-
Republic Commando or something. That
Yeah.
would be fucking. That's a poop your pants moment. A Republic Commando sequel is a poop your
Are you
fucking
gonna have
pants
diapers
moment.
at your house for us?
Yeah, we're gonna have
By
diapers.
by
Yeah.
by the people that made Titanfall. I don't remember you saying that. I just remember it's talking about like the EA Star Wars game where it's
Yeah.
the female.
Respawn's working on one.
Okay.
So.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, so we will have our reaction show. We'll record it Sunday. We promise it will be up Monday morning. So if you watch the press conferences live, great. Or if you want to sync us up, and we'll let you know at the beginning of those press conferences, hey, this is starting, and we'll just let it go. We'll try not to talk too much during the press conference. We might have a couple of comments or things to talk about, but it'll mostly be a reaction show where we'll say, hey, this is what we saw. This is great. We're going to talk about X, Y, and Z. So. The last thing I want to talk about today, I don't think we're going to have time for scenarios today, but the last thing I want to talk about is so what are your favorite E3 memories? Is there something that was announced at E3 in the past that you were just so fucking excited for? And this doesn't have to be just E3, but what's your favorite video game announcements or remember the most?
I would say my favorite. The funny thing, I'd say my favorite moment is when Halo 2 gameplay originally came out. Now I don't know if did they release that at A3,
Yeah, that was E3
and it was
2000,
not the game that came out. Do you remember that?
2003? 4? No, 2.
2000.
What is it? What's the game?
Halo 2.
Halo 2.
So remember they released that entire game of that guy going through that real advanced city, Master Chief going through that real advanced city, and they had they had some of the new
2004.
Yeah, that new heroes and stuff or the new enemies and stuff, and it was a real advanced city, and it was just gameplay. They didn't have anything else in it, and they scrapped that. And I watched that trailer.
They had a
million-
weird version of it. But
yeah,
it was
and
a
they
little,
scrapped that entire thing because it didn't fit the story that they wanted. And everything you saw was not in the game. But honestly, seeing it,
They had that Sergeant Johnson. Let's show these green bastards what we came here for.
Sergeant Johnson was in there,
Yeah.
and you just ran up, and then I just remember this guy playing. It was actual gameplay. He was playing off a cliff. I could see it in my head, and it was really, really cool.
Remember all the fanboys in the audience, when you saw the dual wield, everyone was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
Whoa!
yeah.
Like, people went nuts
Dual
for the
wield
dual
shooting
wielding
with two
Yeah.
different triggers was such a big deal.
Well, when you jacked the ghost,
Yeah.
and everyone was like,
Oh, yeah.
fuck, no
Stealing the
way,
ghost.
he stole the ghost."
Yeah, that was one of the most amazing moments because, when Xbox came out, Halo was a launch title. I don't really think a lot of people expected much from that game, and it ended up being it blew everybody out of the water. And then Halo 2 came out, and all those little things that this kind of revolution, plus the multiplayer, just revolutionized and really got people into that. And it was such a cool thing when that Halo 2 came out in E3 when they announced it. And even though they changed that gameplay for that one, it's still a great game. And that was just such I think one of the most influential games of all time was Halo 2.
For consoles,
For
hands
console.
down.
Yeah, hands down. I'm not saying it's the best, but I'm just saying it just changed a lot of things for console. And it was such an influential game. The only other E3 moments is that Brogan and I have watched and loved E3 and always followed up with E3 every year. And then we found we would go to Game Crazy every once in a while just to hang out or just to go look at games or something frequently.
Game Crazy.
Yeah, and the guys that worked there actually went to E3, and we thought they were the coolest people we've ever met in their lives. Like, tell us about it. What did you do? What did you see? And he was telling us. They were just like they were like the nerds at the Star Wars convention. But Norman in real life, they're shy and afraid of all. They're not gonna talk to girls. But when you're at the Star Wars convention and you're the one wearing
fucking Boba Fett?
yeah, you're fucking Boba Fett. And so they're talking to us yeah, we got to play this game and it's not even released yet. And we're like, you did? No way. What is it about? You know what I mean? It was so fun to talk to them.
Yeah. Buddy, any big memories from E3 or Nintendo announcements or anything like that?
I didn't watch it live, but I've watched the video of it several times where they announced Twilight Princess. Have you ever seen that video?
No, actually, I don't think I have. No.
Because people were waiting so long for like a more serious Zelda game,